This tutorial is for Blender's 2D animation workspace Grace Pencil and is going to quickly walk you through a fast way to make my little ghost animation while taking advantage of what Blender has to offer to the animation pipeline. This includes how to parent a Grease Pencil object to an empty 3D object, how to use a modifier to color, how to interpolate keyframes for fast in-betweening, and how to create and save a custom brush for faster, easier line art creation along with some other basic functions. It might sound like a lot, but it's actually pretty easy once you get started. So if you're interested in any of that, keep watching and feel free to make your own little ghost boy animation along the way. I am using Blender's 3.5 build for this. First off, load Blender's Grease Pencil workspace from the startup menu. Loading it from startup will load you with a solid white background because it's changing your world's properties to that. If you load it from the top menu tab, it won't preload a white background, so you have to go into your world property tab on the right here and change it to white. Your preload won't look exactly like mine because I pulled out a window on the left here so I could have a navigation window with the 3D viewport up while I work. I also pulled up 2 more windows on the bottom timeline here so I could switch between the object timeline and the graph editor to fine tweak object frames. I also turned off the floor viewport in the main window and some other things from the top drop down here. I personally feel these changes help me a lot while I'm animating. They aren't things you have to do, but if you want to, you can. You can pull out windows from any corner by clicking and dragging out with your mouse once this little cross icon appears. The little box on the top left allows you to switch your window type if you want to, and right-clicking with your mouse will let you select Close Area to get rid of any extra window if you don't want it. Make sure your view mode is in draw mode at the top so you have access to your brushes. By default, the Grease Pencil pen is really squiggly and kind of draws like trash, not gonna lie, but you can fine tweak it to draw smoothly from the stroke menu on the top here. You can just copy my settings if you want to, but I do suggest you focus on the bottom section here to match it to your pen tablet's unique pressure sensitivity until it draws in a way you're happy with when you have the time. If you want to save these viewport window changes and brush stroke changes so the next time you open Grease Pencil it loads with them, you can by going to the menu at the top, selecting File, Default, and Save Startup File. This will save your Grease Pencil startup file with these changes. Don't worry, it doesn't save over any other Blender startup defaults, and if you want to set it back to default later down the line, you can anytime. Now with all that basic junk out of the way, let's start out by making and saving the brush I use for animating, which is going to work similar to the balloon pen in Clip Studio Paint or the pen tools in Photoshop, and is going to allow you to set down solid bases and line art layers simultaneously. Navigate to the bottom right side menu and select your Material Properties tab at the bottom of the list. Take the little plus icon to create a new brush and select New. You should have a new material loaded into your list now. You want this material to have line art, so tick the stroke box and make the color black. You also want this to have a fill so you can apply a tint modifier to it to add color later on. So tick fill and bring the slider all the way up so it's white. This fill also allows you to change the mode to multiply and work just with line art visible if you wanted to, while keeping lots of data around it to transform and move around as an object less destructively. I'm not going to get into all that, but trust me, it's helpful. Now this material setup, you can click it and name it whatever you want. When you're done, in order to save it so you don't have to remake it every time you load Blender, you want to click this little shield icon here that says fake user and you're good to go. Now let's start drawing our little ghost boy. First off, go down to your timeline and change the N to 60. This is your frame count. Now go over to the layer menu on the top right and click on your first layer. By default, you should have a layer that says line and a layer that says fill loaded, but like I mentioned, I have custom changes saved, so mine has a layer named draft and layer named line instead. Anyway, rename the bottom layer to body, and in draw mode, select the brush icon on the left and this new material as your brush. Make sure your view on the top right is on the third one here and that your color box at the top is on the material box, and draw out a circle for the ghost's body. The thickness of your line is going to be determined by the radius bar at the top here if you need to change it. There's also pen pressure strength next to it, and as usual, Control Z is your undo key command. When you're done drawing your body, go back to your layers menu on the right and rename your next layer front arm. This layer should be on top of the main body, so if you need to reorder it, you can use the up and down arrow keys on the right to do so. Go ahead and give him a little arm, but this time don't draw a connected line down the center where it's connected to his body. This will still create a full shape, but close the gap without a line there for you, which is awesome for things that need to overlap but don't need line art. Next, press the little plus icon on your Layers tab to load a new layer. Rename this layer Back Arm and Tail, and use the arrow keys on the side to move it down under the main body to easily animate it. Create another new layer and give him a mouth. Make sure this layer is on top of the main body. And lastly, create one more layer for his eyes and you're done. You should have your little ghost boy ready to animate and the line art done and fully filled in no time at all. Let's start by giving him an up and down bounce so he looks like he's floating. Since you want all of his layers to follow this bounce and stay in place while moving on their own independently, you can easily do this by parenting him to a 3D empty. If you've ever used After Effects, empties are the same as null objects. They are invisible objects you can parent things to for movement and animation effects that won't show up in the final render. So go to the top draw menu and change this to object, select add and go down to empty. From the empty menu, select a sphere since our little ghost boy is round anyway. Hold down the letter G on your keyboard and use your mouse to move this sphere to your ghost boy's center just so it's easier to understand where the movement is coming from. Now this next part is important because otherwise Blender, for whatever reason it has, will mess up and move the position of your object if done wrong. You need to have the thing you want parented selected first, so select your ghost boy by clicking on him, and then while holding down shift to add another selection, select your empty sphere. If this order is backwards, like I mentioned, it'll move your ghost boy's position. You don't want that. Anyway, once both are selected, right click to bring up the menu pop-up and select parent and object. You've now told it that wherever this object moves, you want the ghost boy to move with it. So let's give him a little bounce. Select your empty again and use the second timeline to animate it by dragging your marker to 30 and then holding down G and moving it down slightly with your mouse. Also, just as an added FYI, since we already moved this empty after placing it and the record button was on the timeline, it registered the first keyframe for us on this timeline. If the record button is off, it won't register a keyframe. Also, if it's not moved at all after being loaded, it won't automatically register a keyframe. So for object placements, keep that in mind. You can load a keyframe by right-clicking the timeline if one isn't being automatically registered. And if you don't want to register keyframes, make sure that the record is off. Anyway, since we want this movement to return to its original position so it's looping, select your first keyframe on the timeline and press Shift D to duplicate it and drag that to the end. Now when you play it back, he should have a little bounce, again in no time at all. Move your marker in between the two keyframes and right click to change the easing type from the easing mode menu to ease in and out to give him more realistic looking movement. You're done with that part of the animation now, so let's focus on the individual body parts we want to animate. Use the menu on the top right to expand your empty folder and access your stroke object again. Clicking on it will have it appear in your timeline again with your layers because that's now what's selected. If you ever get stuck and can't get it to load the timeline, chances are there's a little pen icon or box icon next to your object. Just click on that icon and it should work again normally. It's annoying AF that it gets stuck on this, but it happens. Let's animate the arms next. Select your keyframe and press Shift D to duplicate and drag it to the 30-second marker on your timeline. Select this duplicate keyframe, switch your mode to edit mode, and use the lasso to select your front arm layer. I think by default this is a box select and not a lasso. You can change your selection tool from the select menu at the top here if you want. I think I reassigned mine to lasso in the key command menu though. Anyway, select his arm. Once selected, hold down R and pull this little string up to rotate it a bit. Then click your mouse when done to confirm the rotation and hold down G to move it up and realign it and click to confirm placement. We have our second keyframe done. Go back to your first keyframe and press Shift D again to make another duplicate and drag this one all the way to the end of the timeline so this movement loops. Let's do the same thing with the left arm and the tail now. Select your left arm layer, duplicate and drag it to 30 with Shift D. Select the duplicate layer and use the selection tool to select the arm. Use R to rotate it up and click to confirm, then G to reposition it and click to confirm. Next, select the tail. R to rotate a bit back towards the body and G to move back a bit. Select your first keyframe and Shift D to duplicate and drag this to the end of the timeline to complete the movement in a loop. Let's set up the keyframes for the mouth now. Select your mouth layer, Shift and D to duplicate it and drag it to the 30 marker. Select the mouth and from the left side tool menu, go down and select the transform tool this time. Use the little blue square to shrink the mouth so it closes a bit and then click to confirm. Go back to your first keyframe and press Shift D to duplicate it and drag it to the end of the timeline to create a loop. Now we're going to add our in-between frames for all of these at once. Move your marker in between the first and second keyframe. If you have the marker on a keyframe, it'll give you an error message saying it can't find keyframes or some junk. Once here, go to the top menu labeled grease pencil and down to interpolate sequence. All these layers are going to be following the same type of movement, so select all layers as the layer box type and open up the types. If there are ever any layers you don't want selected, locking them will prevent them from being added to the selection. You have lots of default types of interpolation to work with in Blender and the ability to make your own custom ones, but we want this to move in a relatively linear fashion with a slight ease and out, so select sinusoidal. I don't know if that's how that's actually pronounced, but YOLO. And then for easing, change it to ease in and out. Move your marker in between your last two keyframes now. Go up to the grease pencil menu at the top again and back into interpolate sequence, and it should load with what you just used unless you change it. Now when you press play, everything should be animated how we had it set up in a perfect loop. The only reason why this wouldn't work is if you changed any of the data by adding lines to one keyframe that doesn't exist or by erasing parts of a keyframe. Basically, it's taking what data is there and matching it, so if you add or erase it from one part you're telling it to match to, it doesn't know what parts to match where anymore. Keep that in mind. Now, for the last bit, let's slap some color onto the mouth with a modifier. This is a much faster way to add colors to every single frame in my opinion by just using layers, and allows you to change the color at any time. In the tool list on the right hand side where your layers are, go to the gear to see your modifiers. Use the drop down that says add modifier. There should be 4 groups to choose from. In the far right group labeled color, select the one at the bottom of the list labeled tint. This is the one that works with grease pencil. Drag the strength up to max or all the way to the right. Make sure the mode is on fill so it keeps your line art, but you can also choose to have it include your line art to cover it, or have it just affect the line art if you wanted to, which again is awesome. Anyway, change the color to red. You'll notice it's coloring everything red, so go to the influence tab and in the layer section, tell it to only color the mouth. And you're all done. All keyframes and in between frames are going to now take on this color throughout your entire project, and you can change this at any time. Do the same thing with other layers to quickly color the rest of the ghost if you want to, but this is fine for me. That's it for this tutorial. Hopefully it was helpful and you had fun making your ghosty boy if you went along with it, and you have a bit of a better idea on how you can take advantage of Blender's tool sets to really speed up your own projects. I originally wanted to make this and have it out for October, but I just had too much stuff come up, so it is what it is. I have another Blender grease pencil tutorial up on my channel going over the basics of the program that I made when I was really new to it and super excited about it, but to be honest, it was such an old version that it was made for now that a lot of things have been changed and updated since then. You can give it a watch if you want, but if you can, I do recommend just trying to stay up to date with tutorials, since Blender updates so frequently and it always updates with major changes and improvements. If you have any questions or trouble with your own Ghost Boy, feel free to leave them in the comment section of the video, but I'm not a Blender master yet, so I don't have all the answers, and I've been focusing primarily on grease pencil for these past couple of years. Anyway, that's it for this one. Later.